Hello, let's we continue our chapter, The Price of Flowers. So I was moved by what she said. Okay, from there we want to continue. Okay, the curiosity I felt about a girl is persistent. Persistent means stayed. Okay, see the word is curiosity. That's happened in the mind of Mr. Gupta against that young British girl, Maggie. Okay, who was the child? Why had she inquired about me? Was some mystery the cause of her interest? Her poverty stricken, sad, and anxious figure took possession of my thought. On Sunday, all London shops are closed, so I set out to look for her after breakfast. On Monday morning, I looked into the shops on the streets near St. Martin's Lane, and especially the shops on the Strand, but I found no trace of the girl. The curiosity connected to Mr. Gupta with that Maggie. He searched here and there in the same restaurant and the same street and same places. He's looking her, but she didn't find out her. Still, her face and dress manners, sad face, everything is in the mind of Mr. Gupta still. That's why Mr. Gupta is so curious or anxious, and you want to know who was that girl and why had she inquired about me. So this paragraph says the thoughts of Mr. Gupta about Miss Maggie. The week passed. Saturday come again. I presented myself at the vegetarian restaurant once more. Yeah, the same Saturday, next Saturday will come, and he's seated. He occupied in the same restaurant. As I entered, I saw her sitting at the same table as before. Yes, yeah. Mr. Gupta saw Maggie in the same table in the previous restaurant and also this coming and this Saturday. As I entered, I saw her sitting at the same table as before. She was eating. I walked up and looked at the chair opposite her, saying, "Good afternoon." "Good afternoon, sir," she responded hesitantly. Hesitantly means suspiciously or without openly. That's some kinds of hesitation. Okay, right. Well, by making one brief remark after another, I was able slowly to start a conversation. At last, she asked it, "Are you an Indian?" So the conversation going on between Mr. Gupta and Miss Maggie in the same restaurant one Saturday, and them same sitting opposite each other. And the first inquiring that one, she asked, "Are you an Indian?" "Yes." Then Maggie again said that, "Excuse me, are you a vegetarian?" "Why do you ask that?" "I have heard that most Indians are vegetarian." "How is that you know anything about India?" "My elder brother is in India. He is a soldier." "I'm not much of vegetarian," I answered her question, "but I enjoy vegetarian meal now and then." The girl seemed disappointed. The conversation going on between Maggie and Mr. Gupta. The first question asked, "Are you an Indian?" Second question asked, "Are you vegetarian?" Because she believed that, Maggie believed that most of the Indians are vegetarians. They're eating vegetarian food. But Mr. Gupta said that, "No, I'm not truly vegetarian. I did eat non-veg also, sometimes vegetarian, right?" So that thoughts, that means that what Maggie thought that most of the Indians are vegetarian. So she got disappointed mainly because he said that Mr. Gupta said that, but he is not a vegetarian. Most of the Indians are not like that said. So that is a disappointment reason. So maybe ask them, why did Maggie disappointed? So he must be answered that. I'm not much vegetarian. I've answered her questions, but I enjoy vegetarian meal now and then. So the girl seems disappointed. All right. I learned that her only guardian was the elder brother. She lived with her old widowed mother. That means, from this conversation, Mr. Gupta understood that his elder brother is in service in India as a soldier, and she had no father. Okay, then, and at the same time, so mother is we can consider as a widower. Okay, and Maggie and mother is only staying in the house. Do you hear from your brother? We have not had a letter from him for a long time. My mother is very worried. People tell her that India is full of tigers and snakes and fevers. She is afraid something has happened to him. Is it true, sir, that India is full of tigers and snakes and fevers? Now, Maggie inquired about India, about the tigers, snakes, and fevers. Most of the people's beliefs, European people believe that India is a land of tigers, fever, and snakes. And that doubt want to clear. That's why he she asked the question to Mr. Gupta. What about the land of India? Is it India is a land of tigers, fever, and snake? No, I smiled. How could people live there if it is were? The girl sighed softly. Mother says she would like to ask an Indian about these things if she can find an Indian. The girl looked at me with eyes full of eternity. Eternity means request. Request. Okay. So the conversation going between Mr. Gupta and Miss Maggie about the culture of India, about the blind belief of Indians, because mothers and Maggie believed that India is a land of tigers, fever, and snakes. Not only Maggie and mother, but also most of the Europeans believed like that. So she want to clear the doubts. She said that mother want to clear that about that one. At that time, Mr. Gupta says very funny question. How could people live there if it is fever, tiger, and snakes? That's why the girl is get kind of relief now. Get. She asked such kinds of questions. Mainly, she want to know about her brother because there is no touch with his brother and the family. The Mr. Frank is the brother. We know that the Frank didn't send any letter to family. There is no information about her elder brother. That is why, in order to find out that, in order to clear that, Maggie tried to say this inquiry about India to Mr. Gupta. Okay, then I understood how she felt. She wanted me to see her mother, but she did not have the courage to ask me to accompany her home. That means, actually, that's Miss Maggie want to carry Mr. Gupta to her home in order to see the worried mother. If Mr. Gupta go and said that India is not the land of tigers, fever, and snake, India is very good country, like that, maybe his mother little bit okay. That means not about Indian culture, especially the mother get a little bit relief connected to his son. Connected to his son means connected to Mr. Frank. Why the mother is too much worry and now in bed? Because he worry about his son Frank, that means Maggie's brother. So if Maggie tried to take Mr. Gupta to her home, that means in order to see her mother, then mother became little bit relaxed. But she had no courage to ask such kinds of requests to Mr. Gupta. A keen desire to meet this poor anxious mother took hold for me. I had not had this opportunity to visit an impoverished English home. I wished to see how the poor lived in this country, to know what they think. We think that the British, most of these Europeans are very rich. No, some of them was very poor in their country. In England also, some of the families are very poor, especially this Maggie family is very poor. So that is a thought of Mr. Gupta. How may be the English home? Will it a furnished one, or will it very small one? Will it a big one, like that? Impoverished means poor English home. Will you introduce me your mother sometime? Would you like to accompany you home? I can go. I can go some day. Will you introduce me to your mother sometime? Would you like to me accompany you home? Yeah, such kinds of questions as comes in the minds of Mr. Gupta. The girl's eyes brimmed with gratitude. Actually, Miss Maggie desired such kinds of inquiry question from Mr. Gupta. What is Maggie desired? That is now Mr. Gupta said. What Mr. Gupta said? Can you invite me in your home? Can I see your mom? Like that question. Brimmed means filled with gratitude. Thanks. Thank you ever so much, she said. It is so kind of you. Can you some now? Why Miss Maggie said thanks to Mr. Gupta? Because Mr. Gupta said that I would like to come in home and I would like to introduce your mother. That is exactly Miss Maggie wanted. So Maggie is too much happy and the gratitude, brimmed with gratitude. That means he say again and again, thank you very much, thank you very much. With pleasure. He replied, Mr. Gupta replied with pleasure. I will not interfere with anything else you have to do. No, no, not at all. This afternoon is entirely my own. That means both of them are very free now because it's a weekend day, Saturday. There is no hurry, there is no busy. The girl was delighted. The girl was happy. We finished our lunch and got up together. That means there is no any engagement. Both of them free because it's a weekend day. Next day is Sunday. Saturday afternoon, most of the shops are closed. I mean, the employees are free. So Maggie and Mr. Gupta are free now. They are now completed their lunch and try to move. As we walk, I ask her, may I know your name? My name is Alice Margaret Clifford. Yeah, that is the full name of Maggie. Alice Margaret Clifford. Don't think that is another name. This is a Maggie name. Alice Margaret Clifford. Maybe ask the question is such kinds of question comes up. Don't confuse with Maggie, mother and Maggie. That is Maggie full name is this. Alice Margaret Clifford. Would you mind walking? She asked. Not at all, I answered, if it is not difficult for you. No, I walk home every day. I asked the girl, do you come with the way often? That means said that whether we want to go by walk or vehicle. At that time said that Mr. Gupta said that no, it's a way to walk is better. I prefer walking. Then I asked the girl, do you come this way often? That means if it come, usually it comes in this way. Yes, she answered. I work as a typist in the civil service store. That means she working as a typist. Maggie working as a typist work in civil service store. Okay. Every afternoon I come home this way. Today is Saturday, so I am off early. Yes. Saturday afternoon off day. That's why I came early and that's why I entered into the restaurant. I got salary that day, and Maggie worked as a typist in the civil service store, and his full name is Alice Margaret Clifford. All she said to Mr. Gupta, "Shall I call you Miss Clifford or Alice?" Mr. Gupta asked whether I call you Clifford or Alice. "I'm not a grown up yet. You may call me what you like. I'm usually called Maggie." She laughed. "Yeah, I'm not a grown up more. I'm 13 years old or 14 years old. You can call as you like." Most of them said, "Call me Maggie." So I think you prefer to call me Maggie. Okay. Are you very anxious to grow up? Yes. Tell me why. When I grow up, I shall be paid more for my work. My mother is all. So Mr. Gupta compelled her to tell her story. So that's why Maggie told her story to Mr. Gupta. When I grow up, what's that? My mother is paid more, my work. When I grow in time itself, I start to work and I want to look after my mother. Is the work you do you are liking? Yeah, whether you satisfied your work as a typist? No, the work is very mechanical. I want to work that will make me use my head, brain work, like the work of secretary. That means I want to work that will make me use my head. Yes. Typist, the work is very boring according to Maggie. I would like to work as a secretary because his work is more brain work and head work. That's why I like secretary work. We crossed means we means here, Maggie and Mr. Gupta cross the bridge. Where they going? They're going to Maggie's house in order to see her mother. We crossed the bridge and arrived in Lambeth. Lambeth is a place in London. It is a poor neighborhood. If I ever became secretary, Maggie said, I shall take mother away from here. If I work as a secretary, I got more salary, so I will shift to my mother to some good home. But still, Maggie didn't get a proper salary. That's why a very low salary. That's why she lived in a small house with her mother. If she wished to become a secretary job, then definitely she will move from this place to another home with her mother. Did your father call me Maggie or Maxie? When he was very affectionate, he called me Maxie. How did you know? That was Maggie mostly called as somebody is called as Maxie. Very lovable people call me Maxie. That's my father also called. She told Maggie told her father is called him not Maggie, Maxie. Yes, yes, I answered mysteriously. We are Indians, we know about the future and all kinds of magic. Yes. Now Maggie come to the point, want to see her brother, says about some magical power. I told it crystal ring. And India is a land of magic. We know about the future and all kinds of magic. That is what I have heard, she said. Indeed, I was surprised. What have you heard? Then Maggie said that I have heard that there are many people in India who have occult powers. Occult powers means magical powers. Some people in India have magical power. Is it true? Maggie asked to Mr. Gupta. They are called yogis. Yogi means monks, that means sannyasi, Malayalam sannyasi. But you are not a yogi. Okay. How do you know that I am not a yogi, Maggie? Yes, the conversation still going on between Maggie and Mr. Gupta. Now they move to Maggie home in order to see Maggie home and at the same time Maggie's mother. While they're walking, they're talking too much about India, about Indian culture, especially Indians are most of them are magical power. They are called as Maggie. That is a information get by Maggie through some of his knowledge. Then she asked such kinds of question to Mr. Gupta. Is it true India is a people of magic and people know magic and people can see the future? Is it true? And they are called yogis. Like that question was asked. That time, Mr. Gupta said that I'm not yogi. That's just a conversation going on. And Maggie also opened his mind. His full name said that his ambition said it in front of Mr. Gupta. Still, they are walking to the home. Yogis do not eat meat. Yes, most of the yogis are vegetarian. They not eat meat or chicken, porks, or just like that. Style of eating is prohibited for yogis. Yogis are only eat vegetarian. He said, why you asked me in the beginning whether I am a vegetarian or not? Yes, such kinds of question asked by Mr. Gupta to Maggie. She smiled without answering. We had reached a narrow doorway. Maggie took a thin latch key out of her pocket and opened the door. She entered in and said, please come in. So now they are reaching the home of Maggie. Maggie take the key from his pocket or purse or wallet and she opened this door and said, please come in. When I was inside, I means here, Mr. Gupta inside the house of Maggie now, Maggie closed the door. She went to the foot of the stair and raising her voice a little, called mother. Where are you? That means mother is now she goes into the house and she searches the mother. Maggie searches her mother. I'm in the kitchen, child. The answer came from below. Come down. Maybe this kitchen is downstairs. All right, now maybe her mother's working in the kitchen. It is necessary to explain here that London streets are above ground, kitchens are often below street level. Yes, this is a peculiar area. In that area, bedrooms and everything is in the upstairs, but kitchens in the downstairs. That's a peculiar house is there. Maggie looked at me customingly. Do you mind? No, in the least. Come on, I said. Do you have any boring? That's why. Do you mind? Do you have any irritation or something in the house? No. Okay, no, I'm not irritated. I'm not. I'm okay. I'm happy. Okay, come on, I said. Together we descended. Descended means step down because both of them, now Maggie and Mr. Gupta, now take the step and down because he want to see her mother. Now her mother is working in the kitchen. Kitchen is now situated in down. That's why both of them is descended, landing down the stairs to the kitchen. Descended means downstairs. They're walking down. Mother, said Maggie from the doorway, an Indian gentleman has come to see you. Who is the Indian gentleman here? Mr. Gupta. Where is he? The old woman asked eagerly, with a smile, and stepped into the kitchen behind Maggie. She introduced us. This is Mr. Gupta. Mother, she said, Mr. Gupta, this is my mother. So introduced both of them. All right, from the kitchen itself. How do you do? I said and held out my hand. Yes. Excuse me, my hands, she said, holding them out for me to see. They were covered with a flour. Yes. When we introduced, we are using shaking the hands, no? Maybe this Maggie mother is now working in the kitchen. Maybe they have flour. Flour means godam, yeah? They have to make some cakes or pastry. So she's working there. So her hand is full of flour. That's why they may be covered with the flour. Today is Saturday, she explained. Here is the talking. Mother means Maggie mother talking. I am making cakes. People will come to buy them this evening. They will be sold on the street tonight. This is the way we make our living or money, lots of trouble. So mother told her sad story. That means it's not enough for salary of Maggie. That's why I'm working in the kitchen. I make cakes or some pastry. Saturday evening we will sell these cakes in the streets. That's why we earn money. That's why we are living. Who said it? Mrs. Clifford said to Mr. Gupta. Who is Mrs. Clifford? Maggie's mother. What Maggie's mother doing now? Working in the kitchen. That means maybe they used the flour, covered with the flour. That means making cakes. For what purpose the cake? Cake is want to sell in the street and take money. That is why they are living. Who are they means here? They means Maggie and mother living because of that. Lots of trouble, yes. That means Maggie's family's history. Mr. Gupta maybe understood that they are very poor. Saturday night is a time of festivity in poor neighborhoods. Saturday night, maybe mostly they have celebrated the uh, Europeans. All sort of things are there sold from countless lighting postcards. The streets are more crowded than one may another day, other day. Saturday is the day the poor are able to spend a little, for they receive their weekly wages. Wages means salary. Saturday evening, most of them people are celebrated their holidays. Especially the poor people also comes in front and to spend a little bit money for the relief or relax. So that is life. Then what is the life? We should have to enjoy in weekend. Then only we can get some kinds of energy and satisfaction, happiness to do the next day work. I mean Monday to Friday, want to work very hardly. Then we want to earn money, and Saturday we spend very little for the enjoyment. So that's a system existed in European countries. Okay, ingredients for cake making. Okay, can I ask question to you, students? Do you know how to make cake? How many students making cake? Most of the students now making cake. I know that they are looking in the YouTube and find out what's the way to how to the secret of making cake. This is the best opportunity to sell it and buy money. You can live with that. You can work as a baker man or baker maid to sell the product and earn money. That's a good opportunity. Try for that. If you get the time, if you will have time, you should have to practice to make a cake and to sell it and take more money. That's a good opportunity. Don't waste your time. It's a part-time job. As you work in the home itself, you can earn more money. Right? Try for that. Yes, okay. So here is what are the question comes out. What are the ingredients wants? The items. Ingredients means item. Want to make cake. Flour, sugar, fat, resins. Resins means unakamundiri. Eggs. All things are needed, is it, in order to make cake. And so forth was set out a readiness upon the dresser. Several freshly baked cakes in in the tins was also there. So Mr. Gupta understood that. She is now making Maggie's mother, Mrs. Clifford, now making cakes. So many ingredients was there, and small type of cakes are already there in the tin or box. Sitting in such a poor kitchen will not be very pleasant for you, will it? Mrs. Clifford said that. If you stand or sit in the kitchen, it's not good, isn't it? Do you feel any bad? I have almost finished my work, Maggie. I take him into the sitting room. I will come in a minute. Okay, you please take this gentleman, Indian gentleman, Mr. Gupta, to our front room, sitting room. I will come. I have a little work. I will come soon. No, no, I protested. I can sit here well enough. The cakes you make are nice one, I must say. At that time, Mr. Gupta said, "Don't worry, I'm standing here. I want to look at that, how to make a cake. Just happy to me. Don't worry, don't worry." Mrs. Clifford thanked me with a smile. Then, okay, well, what kind of country is in India, sir? Asked Mrs. Clifford as she resumed her cooking. Mrs. Clifford now continued her cake making. While in cake making, Mrs. Clifford asked her some questions, inquired about India. What about India? Then Mr. Gupta said that a beautiful country. Safe to live in? Certainly, surely India is a land of safe. No problem at all. But not cold like this country. It is a somewhat hot. India is a land of hot, but Europe is a land of cold, right? That's the difference. There's a talking on conversation, a talking going on between whom? Between Mr. Gupta and Maggie mother, Mrs. Clifford, while in the kitchen itself. What Mr. Clifford doing? Mrs. Clifford doing or handling, making cakes. Mr. Gupta is standing and look at that. And fevers, sorry, then certainly, but not called like this country. Okay. Aren't there too many snakes and tigers? Don't they kill people? Yes. Such a funny question asked by Mrs. Clifford. Don't believe that. I laughed. Snakes and tigers keep to the jungles. They get killed themselves if they came too close to place where people live. Yeah. So that means this funny question, funny answer gives it. Right, the jungle sense, the snakes and tigers are in jungle, not in the city, not in the town, not in the village. It's in the jungles. And fevers? In some places India, there are some more fever than in others. It is neither some everywhere nor some all this year around. Yeah, fever sometimes comes in the particular time, particular season. That sometimes will come, not fully, some areas only. All right then. My son is in the Punjab. He is a soldier. What kind of a place is the Punjab? Okay, my son means here Maggie's brother, Mrs. Clifford's son, named Francis, called Frank, working as a soldier under British Army in Punjab. Punjab is a place in India, is it? Yeah. Balle Balle, the Sikh people are there, is it? Do you know that? Yeah. There is a little fever there. It is very healthy. I am glad to hear it, Mrs. Clifford said. Mrs. Clifford asked so many things about India, about tigers, fever, snakes, and about the land of Punjab. Then Mr. Gupta replied very perfectly. India is land of beautiful land. There is no problem at all. Now Mrs. Clifford now happy and she is now okay, relax with the reply of Mr. Gupta. Right. So that's about today. So here is a conversation still going on. Mrs. Clifford and Mr. Gupta talk about Indian culture, talk about India, talk about fever, talk about Punjab, talk about snakes, talk about tigers, and also talk about Punjab, especially Punjab. Why she asked about Punjab? Because her son Frank is living in Punjab as a soldier in under British rule. So that's why she asked such an answer question to Mr. Gupta. Now, Mr. Gupta is now under Maggie home, is it especially in the kitchen, while Mrs. Clifford is talking, she's tried to make a cake also. Mr. Gupta now understood that they are belongs to poor family. They even didn't get more money from her salary. That's why their mother making cake and sell it in Saturday evening in order to get money. So anyway, there's a good situation, and the mother is too much happy with Young gentleman, Mr. Gupta's reply. That is Maggie intended. Maggie wished that one when Indian want to openly say about India and clear the doubt of her mother. That's happened in here. That's about today. I think you got it. Thank you very much. Take care. We will see you soon.